Hi. Hey, let's talk skinny jeans. Now, before you scroll past and roll your eyes at the mention of skinny jeans, let me tell you, I'm fully aware some women hate them. They've never owned them. They will never own them. And that's absolutely fine. And then there's other people, other women, where that is the hill to die on for them. They love those skinny jeans. They are never giving them up. They will be buried in those suckers. That is okay too. What I'm here to talk about today is ways to style them to make them look more fresh and updated, and different body types, and ways to possibly wear them and still have them look good. So typically what we want to do is we want to balance the fit. So you have these skinny jeans, which are snug from the waistband all the way down to the hem. So you want to balance that out with something a little looser on the top. A good rule of thumb is if you have tight bottoms, a looser top. If you have a tight top, looser bottoms. And it just kind of gives it more of that cohesive, flowing type look. So, some of the other things to keep in mind is experiment with different shoes. You can do a chunky loafer, a boot, a regular loafer, a chunky heel, a kitten heel, a ballet flat, sneakers, mules. All of those things work with the skinny jean, just depending on what kind of look you are going for. You know, Speaking of countering the tightness of the skinny jean with maybe a looser top, something with an empire waist would work well, or even more of a tunic top. And those two types of tops, if you tend to carry a little bit of extra weight around the middle, they're kind of body skimming versus body hugging. And so that will camouflage a lot. It will help women out. I know this is a common problem area for a lot of women, and having like the empire waist or the more tunic top to cover the top half of your skinny jeans, they will look a lot better. You want them to be long enough to come down to at least the hip, if not a little bit further. Experiment with layering, different textures and lengths, such as a fitted top under maybe an oversized blazer. Now, something to think about: if you are wider through the top here, you don't want to add shoulder pads. You don't want to make yourself even wider. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. And so something to look for when you are looking for a blazer, it's oversized. You want to keep that long line going, vertically. So a good rule of thumb, like I said, is tight bottom, looser top, tight top, looser bottom. Try updating the look of the skinny jean. Cuff them. The wide cuffs are really in right now. So cuffing them, or cut the hem off the bottom and leave a raw edge. That's really cute as well. Throw that on with, like a loose little t-shirt with maybe a little front tuck and some sneakers, and it's darling. Or even dress it up a little bit. You can still wear sneakers and put a cute little blazer on. So that would look cute too. And it just kind of is a little bit of an updated look. And don't forget about your accessories. Make sure you have some updated accessories on as well. You may also want to, just like I said, add a chunkier shoe. So if you tend to be a little bit top dominant, meaning you're wider through the shoulders, think about this. If you're some people refer to it as an inverted V. I don't really like that description, but it's accurate. So if you're built more like this, so you're wider through the shoulders, think about how a skinny jean fits. It's snug from the waistband all the way down to the ankle. So it's going to carry this all the way down, and it's going to accentuate the width in your shoulders. So what you want to do is diminish this a little bit, so that way you look more balanced. So no big ruffles, no big chunky fabric up on the shoulders, no shoulder pads. But you could do, like I said, a pair of skinny jeans and then a more fitted t-shirt, and then put a blazer over it. Just make sure that the blazer is a straight line from the shoulder down past your hips. And you want the blazer, you don't want it to stop at your waist. You don't want it to stop at the top of your hip bones. You want it to come down a little bit lower and maybe even cover the booty. And so this will kind of give you that flow. It will diminish the look of the wide shoulders and make you look more balanced. So that's one good way to do it. If you happen to have an hourglass figure, so that little tiny waist, a high-rise skinny jean will accentuate, try that again, will accentuate your little waist. So, if you have an hourglass figure, go for it. Wear the high-waisted skinny jeans, and that way it'll show off your little waistline. If you have an athletic build, a good pair of skinny jeans will show off those toned legs and a toned booty. If you are more of a rectangle, which is more what I am, um, you can, a skinny jean might give you some shape. So, and the rise also matters. Like a rectangle, you probably wouldn't want a high rise because you don't have as much of a waist. Okay, but a mid rise is fabulous. So mid rise is something that comes right to the belly button or maybe just a little bit below, and it tends to camouflage if you have a little bit of a pooch. So the mid rise works really well for that. They also have low rise. If you're daring and you want to do that and you're comfortable in them and they look good, go for it. If you are thicker through the middle and narrower through the hips and shoulders, so if you carry all of your weight right here, skinny jeans might not be your best choice. I mean, I'm just going to say it. You can do them. You know, if you do, put something long and body skimming on, but a better choice for you. And this also goes for my inverted V's. Okay, something that balances out at the bottom. So maybe a boot cut or a little bit of a flare or even a wide leg jean where it's a nice straight silhouette. If you're rather tiny, you can also try the barrel jeans. Anything that will bring attention to the lower part of your body to balance out the top half of your body is a good thing. So, you know, like I said, if you're thicker through the middle, you may want to consider more of a boot cut or a little bit of a flare or a straight leg or even a wide leg jean. And this also goes for my top dominant gals. As a side note, a darker wash is going to be slimming. A lighter wash is going to add a little bit of volume. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're shopping for your skinny jeans or as you're pulling them out of your closet and putting them on. Don't forget about fit. This needs to be said. If you are spilling out over the top of your jeans, go up a size. It's not going to make you look heavier. It's going to fit correctly and it's actually going to be slimming. Go with maybe a darker wash and get a pair that fits. And the opposite is true. If you have a saggy butt in the skinny jeans and they're hanging on you, go down a size. They are meant to be a little bit fitted. So it's okay, but make sure the fit is right. And if they have a little bit of stretch in them, they're gonna hold their shape a little bit better and they're gonna be more comfortable, especially if you're working in them and you're sitting a lot. They're not gonna cut into the groin that way. They're gonna be far more comfortable if they have a little bit of a shape, or excuse me, a little bit of a stretch. Like I said, a mid-rise can help camouflage a little bit of a belly. And like I said, some other cuts to consider, because skinny jeans really aren't for everybody, but a good boyfriend jean, which is my personal favorite. It fits just a little bit looser and it's just nice, like a nice relaxed fit. It's pretty flattering on almost anybody. The straight leg, which is just straight from the hip down. A boot cut, it's more fitted through the hips and the thighs and then starts to slightly flare out under the knee. Your flares, same thing, but it has more of a flare under the knee. What else is there? The wide leg, that one is pretty self-explanatory. Just make sure if you get a wide leg that the rise is right for you and that it is fitted kind of through here and then is a straight wide leg. And don't get them too long. If they're too long, have them tailored or maybe cut the bottom off and have a raw edge, because if they're really pooling at the bottom, it's going to kind of bunch up all the way up and it's going to look like too much bulk. You want them to hang nice and straight. So that's another way to do it. There's lots of ways to wear jeans. Jeans are awesome. And no, when you're over 50 or 60, you do not have to give up your jeans. You just need to find the right fit and the right style. So my suggestion is take someone with you that's going to be brutally honest and go shopping. You know, go shopping, have them tell you, no, that doesn't look so good. Try this. And just remember, balance, balance, balance. So if you are wider through here, you want to have some fullness down at the bottom. Okay. If you are wider through the hips, okay, and narrower through the shoulders, then you want to add some volume up here. And you can do that with shoulder pads. You can do that with just a thicker fabric. You can do that maybe with a block print where there's a vertical stripe going across the top of your body. There's lots of ways to do this, lots of ways to wear skinny jeans. Skinny jeans are not dead, but you're just not seeing as much of them, but you can definitely zhuzh them up and make them more stylish. So I hope this was helpful. If you think it has been helpful to you, maybe it'll be helpful to someone else, feel free to share. Feel free to like and comment. I'm happy to answer any questions I can. Thanks so much.